Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. In this video, I am going to show you guys how to change your spark plugs. This particular vehicle is a 2014 Ford Focus ST. To start, we will be removing this appearance cover. And now that that's out of the way, these right here are our 4 coil packs that we're going to have to remove in order to access our spark plugs. On these coil packs in particular, this tab right here, you're just going to push down on it and pull out. And when you're pushing down, all you're doing is pulling that locking tab up off of this right here. We're going to go ahead and do that for the rest of them. Now, there are a couple of items I am going to have to remove before I can take all of these out. These little grommet tabs right here hold a wiring harness in. I am going to have to pop it off of these two coil packs. And also, my intake piping is in the way, so I will be removing this 8mm bolt, and may or may not have to loosen this up just to shimmy this out the way so that I can get to this back plug. Now, if you have a screwdriver, like a flathead, you can use that to kind of get up underneath and pry, like so. Same thing for over here. If you do happen to have one of these are pretty awesome. Makes it much easier, much quicker. As you can see, it just pops right off. But a flathead screwdriver works as well. Now there are 8mm bolts holding in these coil packs. What you're going to do, go ahead, take your ratchet and a socket, and you're going to fully remove these bolts out of here. And now, if you give these coil packs just a little bit of a side-to-side wiggle as you're pulling up, they typically just pop right out. Next, you'll take a spark plug socket and an extension. I do recommend that you use a spark plug socket. If you look down in there, you can see the black rubber. That is what holds the spark plug on the socket once you break it loose and pulling it up through there. As far as the extension goes, sometimes you have to use a swivel as well, sometimes a long extension, sometimes a shorter one. It just depends on how your engine's set up and I guess how much access space you have, I'd say. Now, we're going to go ahead, which actually, this extension is too big. I'm going to go ahead and grab the right size. Once you have your spark plug socket down in there, you're going to go ahead and put your wrench on it and break it free. Once you have your spark plug loose enough, you should be able to turn it by hand. And there you go, there's your spark plug. Now, since you have your old plug out, you'll go ahead and set the new spark plug down in the spark plug socket. And carefully set it down in there. Usually what I like to do is turn it counterclockwise a few times. Make sure you're not cross-threading the spark plug. And I like to run it down with my hand as much as I can before I put my ratchet on, just to make sure that spark plug's going down in there straight and it's not cross-threading. Once you reach a point where you can't spin it with your fingers anymore, you'll go ahead and put your ratchet on and tighten it up the rest of the way. Now, it's kind of awkward to do it with one hand, but once you start to snug it up, basically you want it to be tight, but don't go Incredible Hulk on it and strip out the threads. Get a nice good tight feel, and especially if you have a 4-cylinder like this and you're unsure of how tight it should be, start off with something moderate and light. Go ahead and throw your coil packs back in, start it up, see if the car is running well, if you have a misfire. If it is misfiring and it wasn't misfiring before, chances are one of your spark plugs just happens to be loose, and you can go back and tighten them up a little bit and essentially rinse and repeat. But yeah, you do not want to go Hulk smash on your spark plugs. Once you get the spark plug tightened, you can go ahead and reinstall your coil pack or plug wire, whatever your vehicle happens to have. And these screws on your coil pack, same thing as the spark plug. Get it nice and snug. You know, don't go using breaker bars or anything on it. Just get it nice and snug, snugged down. And once you have it snugged down, you can go ahead and reinstall your connector or plug wire, whichever your vehicle has. Now, these other two spark plugs are pretty much rinse and repeat as far as the first one goes. This is the one where you do have to remove this 8mm, and I may or may not have to take this coupler loose in order to get this intake piping out of the way. Okay, for the sake of not taking off more stuff than we need to, I did go ahead and loosen up this worm clamp right here. And with this bolt out, this gives me enough room to have this held up out of the way so I can access the coil pack and the spark plug. And it's going to be the same thing as the others. Go ahead and break the screw loose. Now, go ahead and give it a little twist and pull upwards. And get your extension and spark plug down in there. Break it loose. Go ahead and reinstall the new spark plug. And that's all there is to it. Depending on what vehicle you have, you may not have to remove anything. You may have to remove more stuff. Of course, if you have to remove more stuff, go ahead and reinstall everything. And go ahead and start up the vehicle. See how it runs. If it's running good, she's ready to rip. Thank y'all for checking out the video. I hope it was helpful, and I hope all you guys have a great day.